wallet strategy, how to build it, how to test it, how basically to go through the functionalities of this platform, and feel free to raise any question related to the platform on the chat section, or don't hesitate to put your question as well in the forum. Basically, the forum is, as some of you may know, is available under Forex trading menu, Visual JForex, and then Visual JForex forum, and you've got so far 6 languages available, so feel free to raise any question over there. The new version will be released soon. We are currently performing some tests, and we'll keep you updated. In any case, you will be informed in the forum section as well about the new version of Visual JForex, that hopefully include some good functionalities, some fixes related to some outstanding bugs. Yeah, so basically, indeed, we need our community login to use it in here. I've got my strategy processor up and running with my demo account credentials, indeed, and I have basically an idea like for I need to check probably a good example. So what we've got so far is, yeah. So basically, I will go through a simple example in order to explain it, and it's basically using some standard features as well as a functionality or an idea that could be useful for some of you. Yeah, so what we need to do is basically to use the MACD and a couple of moving average indicators, and following the trend of the histo MACD, we're going to open and close orders, and indeed it will be based as well on the cross of the moving average indicators, and once a position is closed based on the MACD histo, we will do, or probably if we have some time, add some other functions. So basically what we need to do is, let me extend my window like this. Hopefully, I hope that everybody can see the window. All right. So yeah. So as usually, we start the strategy. Well, it's going to be based on candles, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, depend on the user needs. We can edit the default variable from here, and you can subscribe straight through to 5 minutes candle. Don't forget that, yeah, basically the strategy will subscribe by default to the ask and bid. So we're going to focus on the bid side for this strategy. So if you don't specify this, you may find sometimes that the strategy trade twice. So this is not a bug, this is just normal behavior. So the user has to specify whether he will use the bid or ask sides, or maybe both, if you need to specify some conditions like entry conditions, etc. So we'll start by the default instrument, which will be basically the candle bid instrument. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Yeah, if you can consider it as a feature, yeah, why not? All right. We're gonna trade on the euro dollar. We will trade on basically 5 minutes candle. I like to keep my default variables on the top of the as a first input value, just to make things clear. And we will build our MACD indicator and our EMA. All right. So we've got on the right side of the visual JForex strategies platform, all our indicator. You can simply click on the indicator to just see the entire list of the indicator and scroll down to find your indicator like this. So I'll use the MACD this way, and I've got my output parameter by default. I can basically, let me just, all right. So what we will do, we've got our friend Dirk who joined the room, and who basically will help us if we have some complex questions. Alright, so we've got the MACD right here. Feel free to edit the variables this way if you need to rename them, like instead of this default name, you can edit it and you can type your variable name in here. It's the same thing for the others. I hope that the right click is, users can see it, but you simply right click on this area, auto created variable, in order to edit any variable. So we're gonna add, let's say, 2 EMAs, why not? Yeah. Time period 14 and day 30. We've got our outputs. Indeed, same thing. So instead of these default name, you can rename it this way. So EMI 14, I'm gonna edit it and rename it 30. And we're gonna link them this way. And afterwards, we will start our trading condition, let's say. So what the main idea behind this simple strategy is, when I need to show you probably on JForex. Sorry. When the MACD, the historical, the histo MACD is positive, will go long, and when it is negative, will go short. But we do need also, can check, yeah, I've got it available. So basically, as you can see in here, when the edit indicator, this is 8, I needed 14, and this is 24, I needed to be 30. Looks good. Okay, so when the 14 is above the 30 and the MACD histo is positive, I'm going to edit the indicator here, deactivate both of these, and I'll keep, it is, change this line like here, up. Alright, so this black line is the 0 level of the histo MACD. So, alright, So the main idea is that we've got a cross here, the 14 above the 30 and MACD positive. So in this case, I need to set this as conditions. So from one hand, I've got the first if condition, and here same thing. You can click on the component, on just the icon, to see the entire list, but feel free to select it like as you wish. If you want to see it by section or sorted out by category, it is also possible. So MACD histo, we've got this variable represented by the MACD. I don't need the two lines, the first two trend lines. As you noticed that I just deactivate them from JForex, so I'll keep them like this. I don't want to use them. If the MACD and the second variable will be a double and 0. So if it is positive, bigger, I will take some decisions later, and if it is negative, there will be another flow. So the second condition was about the EMA 14 and 30. So I need as we said, the 14 to be above the 30. So I'll take the 14 this way from here, and I'll take the 30 from here. So MACD bigger than the 0, and EMA 14 should be bigger as well. And for this, I will need to buy indeed and open at market greeter. All right, and same from here. I will put this way, all the other way around, and I will copy and paste this way. It is possible as well to, and I need to sell, and right here same thing. Maybe there could be another way to do this, maybe more efficiently, but anyway, looks straight through. But in here, as you may notice it, my strategy will open several positions on each single candle. So I don't want to find myself with multiple positions each time these conditions are verified, but I want to implement some other conditions. But let me first of all deal with the feature based on, okay, so I am opening a position here, as you can see, in JForex. So okay, let's suppose that starting from this candle, the histo is positive, so the strategy will react starting from this candle, let's say, and well, the good thing based on this trend of candles could be 10 pips or maybe more, 27 sorry, 27 or 30 pips in here, but I am currently looking to 10 minutes and I should look to 5 minutes. Right, so on 5 minutes it's another story. And alright, so yeah, still I've got the first histo positive above 0 at the level of this price marker, time marker, and let's suppose, that I will close my position if the histo goes under 0. So yeah, let's suppose basically it's a good deal. I don't know, it's not really verified over backtesting, serious backtesting, but just an idea, and we'll see how to implement it. yeah, so on the other hand, we've got on candle based as well. What I can do is I'll probably delete this one, put multiple action here. First flow will be the opening, and second flow, sorry, second flow will be looking to my open positions and see. When I say looking to my open position, it could be in two ways, depending on the complexity of the idea. I can either use my output here. Actually, in here there is a detail. I need to delete stop loss and take profit variables because I don't need them. Because basically my position will be opened by the MACD and closed by the MACD histo. So two ways. Either you identify your positions in here and you create a variable with the default type, indeed is a position type. So you name your variable and then you'll be able to identify all the cell positions. And indeed in here, same logic, you will identify the long ones. And then you can use this variable as a position type, and you can see, actually we can take an example position and go try to explain it a bit. So I've got my variable here. Each time the strategy will go short, the information related to every short position are stored within this variable, and these information or these variables are listed in here. So you've got all the information, feel free to use them with regards to the type of the variable, because it's very important. You cannot, for instance, I don't know, compare a string type variable like a comment with text or alphanumerical variable with I don't know, Boolean or another type, which could generate errors. This is not possible, and you will get an error in your a pop-up message saying that you need to change the types of the variables inside your block. But in my case, I will probably prefer, or maybe it's easier, or to use the position viewer. But I'm sure that for my example, it is possible as well to identify the positions this way and use these variables later on. But for my example, I need just to look into my, actually I don't need this one, so I'm going to delete it right here, and this one as well, deleted. Okay, go on. Alright, so why I use the position viewer? Because my idea will open several positions, and I need to close them all together once the histo goes under 0. So what I can do is, first of all, where is my position information? Open positions, this way. The current positions will be a new variable, and it's gonna be called open positions. This save. Alright, so feel free to name your position, variable, etc. with whatsoever name you want. I need to use indeed the loop cycle in here, and for this I need to check if my open positions are first of all filled from the loop end or the iteration. Right. I'm sorry for this noise. Alright, so I need first of all to check this open position state. It has to be filled, indeed. It's just a filter here to avoid any mistake, but I'm not sure it could be, yeah, just to make sure that my positions are filled before trying to change or to close them. So basically I need to identify my positions, whether they are long or short, because there will be both in here, buy and sell. So if my positions are filled, okay, and then if my position is long here, I'm going to use a Boolean variable to identify whether I don't know if you can see, someone moved the window, and I'm not sure it is, well, Gita or Paulina, feel free to resize the window in case it's not visible for everybody, but for me it's okay. Alright, so this block if in here is used to identify if a given position is long or short. Once the flow is identified, yep, and then I'll be able to check if the MACD, let's say if the position is long, and if the MACD histo, which is over here, went under 0, right, just to make sure that double 0. Alright, and then I'll close and cancel MACD less than 0. This is correct. And then I will close every single position. Same thing in here using copy paste feature. Position is short, copy block and paste block. Alright, so in here I've got a looks good. Alright, so the main idea is implemented. It's just a simple and straight through. Alright, what will be also what I want to probably do is another feature, but I'm trying to think about the feasibility for the time being of inputting these conditions. Because for the moment, our strategy will do the following. Each time we have a cross and MACD positive, then it's going to open a buy position, a long trade, otherwise it's going to be short, right? We do agree, we can test it if you want. We can limit the number of orders by putting the condition, but let's see how it behaves, and then we can add some other alright, yeah, so we've got 5 minutes. Yeah, indeed there was several orders opened, but it's not a big issue. We can limit the number of orders by putting a simple condition, but the main what is very important for us is to check. We got a small freeze in here. Alright, back to smooth. Okay, so 5 minutes. I'm gonna put my MACD with default parameters. I need only histo, so I don't need extra information, and I need to edit indicator and add the level 0 so that it is clear. Okay, so we've got it here this way. Alright, so everybody can see that our histo MACD went positive. There was several positions opened, and the MACD histo still positive till this line, and here it is back to negative, and that's why we got all these positions were closed. Same behavior at this level, maybe with a small delay because it went negative starting from this candle. There was like 2 candles, but we can fix this by adding another condition. Yeah, so basically the main behavior is good, but what we probably explain through this, yes, all right, stop the strategy. Okay, yeah, maybe we need to go through the most important, which is the runtime parameters, just to explain them a little bit. Runtime parameters are used for backtesting, indeed, when the user has the following options, to go through ticks, minutes, like period, given period, or even more. So what is the idea behind this? Imagine if you have a strategy and you want to test it over 5 years. I don't think that it could make sense if you want to test 5 years based on tick. So what you will do is basically try to, instead of going through every single tick price for, imagine, 5 years, which is a huge amount, which could take like a long time for testing purpose. But if you have servers and like something very strong, with multi-threading options, etc., okay. But if you need to test even 1 year or 2, it could be good if you manage to like somehow take, for instance, 5 minutes of time, like a candle of 5 minutes, and go through only tick open of 5 minutes. And but again, this depends on your strategy. If your strategy is based on like hourly, like a trading period, or 30 minutes, you can reckon, like you can select this, for instance, 5 minutes and tick on open, or you can go through 1 minute's prices and you take the 4 ticks, high, open, low, and close, then that's it, and you avoid going on every single price. There was a specific method like cubic spline, which is basically kind of linear calculation, let's say, or it's an optimization somehow computed by the system that get the prices within the range of 1 minute or maybe more, 5 minutes, like this. But basically this is what it means. The offer side is indeed bid or ask, depends on your side. The range, the backtesting, we're talking here about the backtesting. You have the choices either to test even on intraday or a custom period, as we said. If I want to test over 5 years, I can select like from here or even more, 10 years, from 2004 to today. But make sure that the currency pair exists, because in 2000, I don't know, 3 maybe the euro dollar was not that active at that moment. So yeah, make sure selecting the right period for the right strategy. Indeed, we've got the money in here, the chart. Yes, if you don't need any chart and you just look for the report at the end, you can disable it and that's it. So once you select these, you've got the global variables, which are basically variables with the type global, which could be obvious. But what does this mean? It is basically means that if I cancel this, I need to show you just the global variable type. So users variable, default variables. Default variables are usually with type equal to global. Edit variable. As you can see, the global here equal to true. These variables will appear once the strategy is launched as an editable variables. Like if you want to test, let's make a simple example. I need to monitor or somehow have the user right to change the time period of my EMAs. So for this, I'll delete this 40, 30, okay. And I create a new variable out of this, and I call it EMA. Forgot the EMA 14. 14, and I period, and that's it. The start value would be 14. Save. Same thing in here. I click on this small icon. We can zoom in just to make it clear in here, or feel free to use the create new variable, but you have to put the right variable type integer with the letters I and T in here. This is very important. Otherwise, if you type in here your variable or create your variable without having the right variable type, it will not work. So when I save my variable as in here, I can drop it without any problem. If it was a double variable, it could create some issues. Alright, so when I go back to my new variables and I go to my global parameter, I switch it to true, save, same thing in here, true, and then I save it, and then look for the global variables. Here it is. So imagine I'm a user. I don't want to go back like every time to my strategy and change manually the period. So I need it to be like popping directly in my global variables. So in here I can put straight through, boom, my period, and then when I click, I can run my strategy straight through. Alright, so here I'll put my default period, which is a small mistake. Yeah, 5 minutes everywhere. That makes sense. And yeah, so basically looks good. We just tested a couple of minutes ago, but yeah. Alright, makes sense. A lot of trades, which is expected. But we're gonna, what do we have? 135. Alright, stop the strategy. Okay. Um, feel free to raise any question related to the use of Visual JForex platform. Maybe we can add some complexity or some conditions. All right. So imagine if I have a all right. I think Maya changed, like moved the window, right? I don't know. Yeah. Oh, no problem. No, you're welcome. Feel free to resize it or. Okay. So yeah, if we put some conditions in our strategy in order to identify the short and long commands, and on the other hand, I can introduce the trade event start point, which is going to be used later on. So in here, our strategy is based on candle, as you can see, 5 minutes candle, and it is yeah, 5 minutes candle, $0 indeed. What I need to do in here is basically using Boolean variables, which means that I'm trying to, first of all, identify, like, once my short position is created, I need to stop it, like stop the strategy from trading. I need only one trade to be done, and then I will take over the trading, like the trading part will be handled by the trade event side. So maybe I'm not clear, but I will explain to you in depth. What I want to do is the following. So first of all, from this flow, which is based on candle, I need to trade one time. Okay, so for this, before opening at market, I will put a condition with type Boolean, for example, using an if. So what I'm going to do is create a new variable with type Boolean, and I'll name this one go long. Yeah, looks good. Save, and Boolean as well, and go short, and then done. Okay. All right. Make sure when you work with Boolean variables, make sure you have the start value that somehow cope with your need, that meet your first need, because the strategy at the beginning will reset the value of your Boolean variable as the start value, whatever the condition is. So the strategy will start, first of all, by putting the start value to true, and then boom, going through the flow, and then if there's some assign function, which will be seen later on, the value of your Boolean variable will change. So basically, in here, I need to put, let me zoom in. Okay, so this is the short flow. If my go short equal to true, which is my start variable, I select the equal here, and at the end of my strategy, I will assign, not the end, actually, it's the, so we'll find this, okay, so pay attention to these outputs. The open at market block has several ones, and when you put your mouse, you've got a short description that will hopefully be described in the helper later on. So I will need the fill OK once my position is filled, so I connect from this end, and basically I will turn the go short, no, this is wrong, right here, and I delete this. Make sure also, let me explain to you this as well, because it somehow on the assign block, you've got the assigned variable and the assigned value. So if you want to assign a value to a variable, make sure your variable goes to the second output, and the value that you want to assign to this variable is selected out from here, which is, for me, in this case, false. Sometimes there's a couple of errors on this as well, but better to spend or clarify this rather than, yeah. So same workflow out of this. If it is equal to true, then I will assign indeed a another variable to my long one, because I'm working on the long flow, right? So what the strategy will do right now is trade only one time, because once the first trade is sent and the position is filled, this variable would take the value false, and this filter stops the position block, the open at market, to be executed. So, but the goal of the strategy is not to trade only one time, but to keep trading. So what we're gonna do in here is probably to add another condition, which is basically an idea like, if a given position gets, let's say, 10 pips of PNL, then I will open another one. And indeed, my flow this way in here, as you can see, this flow will take the responsibility, or take the job of closing every single candle that I have. Every single position, sorry, opened once the histo MACD will go back to the other side. What I can do in here is a simple condition. So the best way to do this is working on the trade event, or introducing the trade event, which is mainly a start point that is it uses mainly the messages received by the system in case of order creation, order filled, order, all the messages and events that could happen on a given position or order. So as you can see, the trade event is highlighted in here as well, in the same blue color. So oops, I've got the trade message text, I've got the trade message type. If you want to see what kind of variable is it, or what kind of variable does these messages or these variable could take as a value, you can check the drop down list and go through the values that such variable could take. So basically, for my case, no, I don't want to create a new variable. I need to use the PNL. So I need to follow up my last position PNL, and if my last position PNL in pips is, I'm gonna compare it with 10 pips, let's say, and right here could be working. All right, maybe I need to link the tick as well in here, because there could be some refreshing problems, but we'll see later on, so no worries. So I identified my PNL related to my last position, but I did not identify whether, so I needed equal or bigger or greater, basically. And if it is, I need to identify whether it is a long or short position indeed, because out of this I need to make the decision of opening long again or short again. So open at market and open at market. And indeed, I don't need any take profit or stop loss linked to my positions. So I'll delete them like this. Alright, so if my position is true and if my position is long, equal from this way, and if it is this way, alright, let's make things clearer. Okay. Alright. Looks good. In here, I need probably to add, we'll see how it works, but when I tested it, I had some refreshing issues because I need my if block, this one, my PNL in pips to be dynamically refreshed and more oftenly, like that's why I'm plugging the tick in order to keep the strategy reacting fastly. So basically, but we'll test this. I did not, honestly speaking, spend a lot of time on testing this. So basically, there was a trade, but we've got in here we got a trade. But the strategy stops just straight, so I need to close the windows that I'm not using. Yeah. Anyway, no problem. Yeah. So basically, the idea was to indeed build something that looks like this. Yeah. Here I've added a couple of other conditions, but what is basically needed, let me go through last month, for example, and go and show you how this strategy is behaving. So this one is working, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, the strategy trades, okay. Alright, as you can see, I've got a, need to call my MACD, sorry, MACD, boom, boom, yeah, change my variables, okay, edit indicator, and then adding the level in here 0, just to make it clear for everyone. Alright. Okay, so basically, yeah, you can see clearly that, yeah, in this case, a cross happens when the EMA, which is not included in here, I'm gonna just put it quickly for this example, and the the EMA, alright, so we've got our cross, the EMA, the first one is underneath the slow one. I've got my histo, which is under the level of 0, and short position is created. Then, yeah, what I wanted to do is, yeah, basically after, if this position is realizing like 10 pips of profit, like starting from this level, another position short will be created at this level, but unfortunately we did not have enough time to go through this. But yeah, main idea is based on trade events. You need to use your PNL in pips, and once the PNL in pips is reaches the level of 5 or 10 pips, then you allow another like block of open at market, and the same way it will take this latest trade and calculate its PNL in pips, and if it is positive 5 or 10 pips, you open again. And once the MACD turn to the other way, like in here for this short flow, it goes to the positive way right here. Here it starts to be, yeah, my positions are closed, and I will wait for this another signal, which is another cross, like as you can see here. The cross happened at this level and the MACD was positive, so looks good. The idea looks good, but the reports maybe I need to change some parameters in order to make my strategy profitable. But indeed, as I told you many times, this is not my first concern. The target for us is to be able to demonstrate that Visual JForex platform is like a platform that is able to implement and make some ideas concretely done using Java and using our Visual JForex blocks linked together, and hopefully you learned some new stuff during this webinar. And yeah, feel free to raise any questions or raise your questions on the forum section in English, in Arabic, French, Russian, Chinese as well. Yeah, so otherwise we'll meet next week, and thank you very much. See you, bye bye.
Ja, sind Sie noch da? Hallo. Der Herr Mitra. Nee, ich habe Sie versucht zu verbinden, aber der Herr Mitrofanov ist leider im Moment nicht.